So, hi everyone. Good morning, guys, all of you. And in the last session, we started PLSQL introduction part. Okay. So, and that introduction will continue now. Okay. And the next statement is, guys, here select into statement. And this statement very oftenly we are using in our PLSQL programs. And this statement, what it was telling, guys, here, the purpose of the statement is what now? How to retrieval, okay, a table columns data or values, and those values how we can store into variables. So that means you have a table and table columns are there. So those table columns values I need to store under a particular variable. So whenever you want to store table column values into variables, so their compulsory select into statement will be help us. Okay, select into statement will be help us. Okay, now so this is the purpose of select into statement. And what is the purpose here? Storing a table columns values into variables. Okay, so how to store table columns values into variables means by using of select into statement. And this statement is always written a single row or a single value, guys, here. So more than one value, one row is not possible to return. It always written single row or single value. And it can use under execution block. So we have a three blocks now: declaration block, execution block, and exception block. Okay, now. So now come out and see the syntax what it is here. Select the required columns. That means which columns data you need to store into variables. Those columns you just call here. Those columns you just call him, and you just call your required columns, and those columns values I want to store into my variable. So variable 1, variable 2. So some variables you have to declare, and into that variable I want to store my columns data. Okay, and from table name, which table, from which table are you retrieval your columns, and those columns I have to store into variables. So the column, and if where condition is optional, so if it is required, you can use, otherwise no need. Okay, so that means what it was happening, guys, here. Can you see like so in this what it was happened. Suppose this is column 1. Okay, this column 1 value I'm storing into variable 1. This is column number 2. This column number 2 values I'm storing into variable 2. Okay, so that means these are what now? So values. Okay, so here also same thing, storing values. Okay, so now, so your particular columns and column values. Okay, when you want to store into table, so there we are using select into class. Okay, no? Right. So this is syntax here. Okay, the syntax observe now. So particular column values, that column values I'm storing into some variables. Okay, right. Now here observe one small program on this select into class statement. So what is my program here? Write a PLSQL program to display e-name, that means employee name, salary details. To display name, comma, salary details from EMP table as per the given employee number by using select into statement. Okay, now, so what I'm going to ask here, I want to display name and salary details from EMP table as per the given employee number. So which employee number was given by user? So that employee number basis, that particular person name and salary details I have to retrieve. Okay. For example, let you see, guys, here. Here I'm going to declaring, okay, the two variables I'm declaring. So your variables I was taken, okay, as per which column I want to display name and salary. So based on the columns and the column names, I will take as a variable name. Okay, because why I'm taking like this means just my understandable format. Okay, so that means this variable is belongs to which column. Otherwise, this variable is storing which column data. Okay, now. So the kind of user identification purpose I can use. Otherwise, we can use a XYZ ABC. Okay, you can use like that also. But whenever we are using XYZ, what it was happen, it's very difficult to identify or difficult to understand here. X variable is storing e-name column data or else salary column data or else some other column data, which column data storing X. So that is confusing. Yes or no? So to avoid that confusion purpose, in real time, the programmers what it will go to do, they will be created the column name only they're taking as a variable name. Okay, because when I'm taking my column name as my variable name, then what it was happening guys here, I can understand that. Okay, so ename column values storing under v underscore ename variable. Salary column data storing under v underscore salary variable. So that means when we have here name and salary, what is the here? Easily understand here. Okay, this variable I was created for storing employee name. This variable I'm going to declare for storing employee salary. So that is just a identification. Okay, na? Otherwise you can take a XYZ also. Okay, so here the two variables which I required. So because I require what now? Display name and the salary. So that's why two columns I want to display here. The two columns purpose, two variables I'm declaring here. One is a varchar 2, one is a number. And begin select e name. So yes, I'm using this syntax. I'm using this syntax. So select e name comma salary. So this is e name is a column name, salary is a column name. So the two columns I'm taking from EMP table. Okay, name and salary columns. These are from which table? EMP table, where EMP number is equals to amp percentage of EMP number. So your amp percentage, why I'm using, but dynamically entry purpose. Okay, so for example, here if I entered my employee number dynamically 7788, if I enter. So 7788 employee, what it will be retrieve name, what it will be retrieve salary. So which employee number are you entered? That employee name comma salary details are retrieval, and those details storing under variable. So now see e name column data storing under v underscore e name variable, salary column data storing under v underscore salary variable. Understanding? So after storing those columns values into variables, then what I am doing here finally, this that means a printout display printing. So where my name is stored, v underscore e name concatenation comma concatenation v underscore salary, and finally your begin statement should be end and your execute your program. Okay, now this is one small program to displaying here employee name and salary. Okay, from your EMP table as the given employee number by using of select into statement. Okay, so here observe. Come to your database first. Open your database next. So this is my table. Carefully observe. So from this table, which employee number the user is entered, Okay, which employee number the user is entered. So based on that employee number, you have to retrieve that person name and salary details. Okay, no? Generally, guys, here, if I want to go this requirement, okay, generally, if I want to display employee name and salary based on some EMP number condition, in SQL language, we are writing simple query. In SQL language, how we are writing select, which column you want it, name column, salary column from EMP number, and we're passing where EMP number is equal to some number I was given. So here, which employee number we are given here, that employee name and salary, we are retrieval from the table and displayed. So this is SQL language. This is SQL language. Okay. So in SQL language, how to retrieval a specific columns data from your table as per given employee number. So this query, all of you clear now? This query, all of you clear now? Come on, guys. This was okay or not? Yeah. So this is our SQL language query. So we all of you know. Okay. So we are displaying only specific columns, name and salary column with where condition, whatever, which employee number we given. So that employee name and salary we displayed successfully. Okay. This is SQL language. But the same requirement, I need to display employee name and salary in PLSQL language. So you concept understand. Okay, in PLSQL language. So SQL language only queries. So query through I can retrieval this. But the same thing if I want to do in PLSQL language, the same thing I have to retrieval data from your table. Okay, by using a PLSQL programming level, then how we can go to write. Okay. So now that is what it was telling guys here. How it was going to write means this is what it was telling us. So this is what it was telling us. So what I am doing here I'm going to so declaration of two variables. Okay, name and salary variables we declared and begin select same columns now. Here which columns you selected? Two columns here. The same columns here also I selected name and salary into we name we salary. But here what I'm doing, after retrieval your name and salary column data that was storing under variables. Okay, so from EMP where the condition here and those variables are printed. Now we can see to execute it one. So it was asking now enter value for EMP number. So now I was entered 7788. Then what happened? Scott and 3000 we got it. Okay, this is what we called. So same thing. So this is what we called. So here, either what I said here in place of E name and Y, okay, E name and VE salary, you can take XYZ also. Okay, you can take XYZ also. So for example, X work of 10, Y, so number of 10, later begin. Later select those columns name and salary, storing into X comma Y variables from EMP, where EMP number is equals to ampersandage of EMP number and DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line, okay, of your X concatenation comma Y. The variables are printed. Okay. So now 7788. Yes. So Scott and 3000 was given. But your problem is what now? This is a small program you can understand. But when you're writing a big programs, then X, Y, Z, if I declare like this, then I will be confused. So this is X variable I declared for which column? Which column data I can store into X variable? Which column data I can store into Y variable? So this kind of confusion was there. Yes, sir? This kind of confusion was there. So that's why what was happened. So X and Y, instead of this, the real-time people, what they will take, some related name they will take for variable. So which column are you storing in this variable? That column name, it will be taken like this. So yeah, V is just my identification of V. V means variable, that is my identification, but it's not necessary to give a V, yes or no? So name and salary. So here it will be simple. We can understand, anybody can understand. But here XYZ means which columns, confusion is there here. But here clearly we can understand, okay. So SAR was created ename variable for ename column data storing purpose, salary variable for salary column data storing purpose. So that was clear cut information we are going to be passing to the users. Okay, right. But otherwise, we can write like this also. Okay, and here I was given ampersandage of EMP number. Why I'm giving ampersandage of EMP number and here means the reason is what? Not dynamically entry purpose. For example, you can see I was enter my number at a runtime level. So again, you have to execute your program. Again, suppose 7369 you entered, 7369 people information coming to you. Again, if you execute your program, okay, suppose 7566 I entered, 7566 information will come to you. Suppose if I entered 1122, but tell me guys here 1122 employee was there in my table, guys? 1122 employee number is there in my table. Okay, in your table 1122 is there. No. So when there is no here, what it was happening, you can see it was showing error. It was showing error message, and what it was saying, no data found. So it was showing error message, no data found. Understand now? So this is what we call the select into statement. So how it was useful means whenever we want to store some particular columns values into variables. Okay, variables, then we can use a select into statement. Okay, now so this is one basic example of select into statement, how it was working. Okay, right. Next one is, guys, here the next one we call as a variables attributes or anchor notations. So what is variable attributes? What is variables attributes? Okay, now we can observe variables attributes are used in place of data types. In place of, see, observe carefully. Variables attributes are, otherwise anchor notations are used in place of data types at what? At variable declaration. At variable declaration. So whenever we want to declaring variable, at variable declaration in place of data types, I am using variable attributes. Okay, na? But why, sir? What is the advantage of this attributes means? For example, let me come back. Suppose here, observe, guys. This is one of our program. Okay. This is one of our program. Okay, fine. In this program, so two variables I declare. One is a V ename variable. One is a V salary variable. So two variables I declare. The data type is varchar 2 and number. Okay, this is a direct declaration we called. Okay, let me see, guys, here. So it was asking some number. Okay, some number I'm giving, fine. But here, suppose this table, so from which table here I'm taking here from EMP table now. So that structure I'm seeing now. Be carefully observe. Here, when I'm storing here, employee name. Okay, I stored here. Suppose this employee name, that means I'm storing which column here? Employee name column data. For this employee name column data, storing purpose, we are declared one variable. And this variable data type is also, okay, match with the ename. That means this ename column, in your table, which data type, the CNAME column in your table, which data type, varchar2 of 10. So this variable purpose, this column purpose, whatever the variable I will declare here, this variable data type is matching with your column data type. Okay, na? Matching with your column data type. Carefully observe. So, which column data are you storing into variable? That variable data type must and should be match with the column data type. Okay, so ename column in my table, which data type? Varchar2 data type. So that column data storing variable is also varchar2 data type. So that's why there is nothing problem to us. There is nothing problem to us. So your program is successfully executed. There is nothing problem to us. Your program is successfully executed. Okay, na? So this is all of it clear now? Come on, guys. The statement is clear what I'm telling now. Come on, guys. Okay, now understanding at this point? Yes. So now you can see this is okay clear. Okay, this is okay clear. So which column data I'm storing into variable, that variable data type and that column data type will be matched. Then only data can be stored. Okay, now right. Now the situation here observe. For example, guys, here my ename column in my table structure, that means when I'm creating my table designing levels, your ename column was having here varchar2 data type. So this variable, whatever I declared here v underscore name, that means this column related variable, whatever I declared here. Suppose this variable data type is, if I'm taking as a number. Here, suppose I'm taking, otherwise I'm taking as a date or something. Okay, data. And now tell me, so this variable are you declared for which purpose? Ename column data storage purpose are you declared? Ename column data storage purpose are you declared this variable? But this column, for which column purpose are you declaring your variable? This column data type is what in my table? Varchar2. But whatever the variable declared here, this is a date data type. Now tell me your ename column variable data type and your ename column data type is matching or not matching, guys, here? Come on, say yes or no. Matching or no? Not matching. So it is not matching means showing error, na? Yes or no, guys? If it is not matching means showing error or not? So now the point understand all of you? Okay. Let me see. So your anchor notations. Okay. Anchor notations. What is advantage of anchor notations? For example, okay, sir, we are declaring one variable. So this variable we are declaring for our column is ename column. Okay, for our column is ename column. Okay, and this column data type, whatever it was there, varchar2, and that variable data type is also varchar2. So there is nothing problem. It will be matching. So data types are matching successfully executed. Okay, that's fine. So guys, just observe. Suppose in the future, this data type, the user will be changed here. Suppose as a date data type, we will be changed. So whenever the ename, so just I'm telling this, observe. Whenever the ename, that is otherwise whenever the column data type is changed by programmer in your table structure, then this column related variable, whatever you declared in the program, and that variable data type, whatever you declared here. So now this data type and here data type is not matching. Okay, because my column data type, the programmer changed as a date from varchar2 to date, but that column declaration of variable is a varchar2. So column variable is a varchar2, column is a date. So again, mismatching of data types. So it was showing error. So this is what happened. Again, if I want to overcome this problem, this entire the program I want to rewrite again, because my variable data type is not correct now. So that's why the entire program I need to rewrite again. Again, I have to rewrite. Okay, rewrite. After rewriting, now in place of varchar2, I was taken here date. I'm rewriting and date I apply. Now it is matching. But after some time, again, user what he want to do, date data type 2, he was came as, again, he was changing as a varchar2. Again, what happened guys here? Again, here I'm changing. Here I'm changing means here what it was there, date. So date and varchar2 again not matching. So not matching means what it was going to do, programmer, this entire the program, I need to write it one more time. So in next time rewriting a program, what I want to do, again I have to avoid this and I have to use here varchar2. Then it will be matching, working now. So that means here the problem is what identified here. Whenever the programmer is going to be changing data type of a column, that column associated variable, whatever we have in the program, that variable data type also I need to change. Yes or no, guys? Tell me. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? We need to change or not? Yes, we need to change. That means whenever programmer is going to be changing your column data type, then that column associated variable, wherever we use in the program, that variable data type also I need to change. Then only my program execution will be work. Okay, otherwise mismatching of data type problem is occurred. But here, how many times you are doing like this? So whenever we want to changing the column data type, for every time you need to rewrite a program. So redeclaration of variable, again rewrite a code. Okay, so for example, programmer, okay, 100 times he will be changing. 100 times the column data type is changed as per their situation, as per their necessity, he was changing multiple times and very oftenly column data types are changing. So whenever column data types are changing means Okay, your program also you need to write now. If it was changing 100 times, then your program also write 100 times. We need to write a program. Okay, if you want to change 100 times your column data type, then the column related or associated variable wherever it is there, that program also I need to change. So this is tougher. This is very difficult to the programmers. Yes or no? This is very, very difficult to the programmers. So that's what they will be do. What they will be do now in place of data types. In place of data types. Okay. So what happened? Varchar is 2 is there. In place of varchar 2 data type, they are created. They created variable attribute. Variable attribute they created. In place of data type, they used what now? Variable attribute. When they used variable attribute, it was allocating some memory. It was allocating some memory. And in this memory, we don't want to mention any data type in this memory. So this variable are you declared for which column? This variable are you declared for which column? This column data type, whatever it was there in the table structure. So this data type, okay, whatever it was there, this column data type in the table structure. So that data type automatically storing under variable attribute memory. Concept understanding now slowly. Now which data type here there? Varchar 2 of 10 sites. So user no need to declare data type here. This time declaring variable attribute is declared in place of data type. The whenever you declare variable attribute, some memory is allocating there, and that variable are you declared for which column? So that column data type, whatever it was there in the table structure, so that data type automatically stored under variable attribute. Okay now. So now tell me, now v underscore e name variable. Now which type of variable? Varchar 2 data type variable. So matching. Okay now this is what. Suppose in the future, user is changing this column data type varchar 2 data type to, he was changing here. So date, changing to data. So whenever he was changing to data, what happened? Automatically this date data type will be replacing into varchar 2 in a variable attribute memory. So that means here varchar 2 place what automatically change? Date. What automatically change? Date. Now again, so date is date matching now. Again date is matching now. Yes, that means I don't want to write this program again and again. I don't want to write this program again and again. Automatically changes. So date to date matching again. Suppose after some time again date data type 2. Suppose I was taken varchar again. Again I'm changing here varchar 2. And automatically here also changing. So date 2. Now what it was come here? Varchar 2. Understand? So again varchar 2 matching now. So again, I don't want to redeclare my variable now. Yes. So this is the advantage of anchor notations. This is the advantage of anchor notations. Okay. So point understand all of you clear now? Okay, right. This is advantage of anchor notations. So that's why let me come out the point here. So the point, whenever we're using variables attributes, okay, variables attributes, internally Oracle server is allocated some memory for these variables attributes. Okay, for storing the corresponding variable column data type which was assigned at the time of a table creation. So table creation, whatever data type we assign to our column, that column data type is storing under attribute memory. Okay, now this is what we call as a variable attribute, what it was happening internally. Okay, so and these variable attributes are we called as the anchor notations. Okay, no problem. Now, but what is advantages? This point is very important. What is advantages means? The advantage of variables attributes are okay. Variables attributes. This point is underlined. So variable attributes are see whenever we want to change a particular column data type in a table, a particular column data type in a table, then the corresponding column variable data type also changed. The corresponding column variable data type also changed in variable attribute memory, in a anchor notation memory automatically. Come on, guys. This statement, all of you read and tell me. The statement is clear, all of you? Come on, guys. Is it clear, the statement, all of you? Yes. So this is anchor notations advantage. Okay. And these anchor notations are two types. One is we called as a column level attributes or row level attributes. So what is column level attributes, sir? Means in this level, we are defining variables attributes for individual columns. Individual columns. Every individual column declaration of variable wise, I'm going to representing this attributes. And whenever you want to represent your column level attribute, must and should be used the prefixed statement that is called a percentile type. So percentile type, the prefixed statement, we should use it. Okay. What is the syntax here? So variable name. Okay. Table name. So which table dot and which column name. Okay. Percentile type. So in place of data type, I'm using anchor notation. Okay. Suppose v underscore e name. This is variable name. This variable are you declared for which column? E-name column. E-name column from which table? EMP table. And the percentile type is what now? Column level attribute prefixed here. Okay. Next is salary. EMP dot salary column percentile type. So same program. Let you see, guys. What I did here, declaration of variables name and salary. But in place of data type, previously here I was used what now? Varchar2 data type. Here I was used what now? Number data type I used it. Yes or no? But now in place of data types, what I'm using, guys, here? Anchor notations I'm using. That is called a variable attributes are I'm using in place of data type. Yes or no? Come on, guys, here. Yes or no? In place of data type, in place of data types, I'm using variable attributes. Now understanding or not? Come on, guys, say yes or no. Okay, right. So remaining code is same. Just in place of data types, I'm just using anchor notations. Remaining all are same. Begin, select ename, comma, salary into storing variable from EMP where EMP number so and so, and those values are printed. So same program, just in place of data types, I'm using anchor notations. Now you can see, execute, and same as this, your program output will be complete. Okay, now this is called a column level variable attributes we call. Okay, this is column level. Come to the next one is called a row level. So row level advantage is what, sir, means. Here, come out and see, guys. Here, I was declared individual column variables. So how many variables you need to select? For every column purpose, individual variables are I declared. For example, I want to call this entire table, I want to call. I want to retrieve this entire table columns data. Then your table is having how many columns in this, guys? Come on. Your table is having in this table. Okay, how many columns are having in this table? Eight columns. So 8 columns means when I want to go column level mechanism, so 8 columns purpose, how many variables I want to declare? Yes, 8 variables I want to declare. So 8 columns purpose, 8 variables I want to declare. Tell me, guys, is it necessary 8 columns purpose, 8 variable declaration is better, or 8 columns purpose, 1 variable declaration is better? Which one better? 1 variable declaration is better, or 8 variables are better? One is better. One is better. Yes or no? So that is telling by, that was telling by what now? Row level attribute. So in this level, we are declaring a single variable. That single variable will represent all different data types of columns in a table. Okay, now. So all columns, because a row is nothing but number of columns. That all columns are different data types are storing under single variable. And it represented what now? Percentile row type prefixed statement. Now the syntax observed. Variable name, table name, percentile, EMP. So I is a variable. So EMP percentile row type. That's simple. So one variable I declared. So one variable I declared here. My program also very simple. Declaration of variable I, EMP table name. Which table? EMP table, percentile row type. Why sir row type means entire row. A row is nothing but group of columns. So that entire row data I want to take. But in this also you have a choice. Suppose in your select query, which columns you mention, so those columns I can fetch it. Okay, this is one type of program. Suppose I need to fetch all columns, then I'm using what? Star. Star means what, guys, here? All columns. Understand my point now? So star means all columns. Okay. Otherwise, you want a specific column, you can take a specific column. So specific column, what I want to do, for example, name and salary. These 2 columns only I want it. Then these 2 columns data I'm storing into I dot e name, because I is a variable. From this variable, which column I want to take here? E name column data I'm taking. So I dot e name, I dot salary from EMP where so and so. And here also displaying I dot e name, comma I dot salary. This is specific columns wise. If you want to take with the row level attribute, okay. So you can write like this with a specific column and 7788. Yes, you got it. So Scott and 3000. Specific which columns you wanted, that was. Suppose you wanted all columns. All columns means what I'm using? Star. So select the star into, I'm storing into which variable? I variable. So I is a single variable now. So star means all columns. All columns data I'm storing under I variable. Okay, right. And later, so that I variable I want to print. So I dot e name, comma, I dot salary, comma, I dot department, comma, I dot EMP number, comma, I dot job, comma, I dot hire date, comma. So complete the list of columns you just print out. Okay, then you have to use it like this. So here I was taking here samply 3 columns I was taken. So star means all columns. If you want to take all columns, then what you want to write? I dot EMP number, I dot e name, I dot job, I dot MGR, I dot hire date, I dot salary, I dot commission, I dot department number. So that you have to mention. Then all are displayed. Suppose I don't want it, sir, all, so specific one. So which I wanted, those I want to display out of 8 columns. So here also it will be working like a star. Now 7788 if I'm giving. So now this time what happened? Name, salary, and department number also displayed. So this is row level attribute and column level attributes. Okay now. So these are the anchor notations. If you want to use in place of data types, you can use, no problem. Otherwise, if you want to use the data types here, data types also you can directly use, no problem. Okay, now that's your wish. Okay, so this is the introduction part of your PLSQL language. Okay, this is completely whatever we discussed. This is completely introduction part of PLSQL. Okay, this is a document, this notes. I'm going to upload it. Okay, in Google Classroom. So once it was received here, just take one practice on this basic example, whatever I was given in this. Okay, now right. And the next one is guys here. Okay, so we said PLSQL supported conditional and control statements. PLSQL supported conditional and control statements. So what are those and how those syntaxes are there? Let me see, guys. Let me see here how those syntaxes are there. So now here, control structures. So control structures use it to control flow of the program. And there are 3 types of control structures that are supported by PLSQL language. One is we call it as a conditional control structures, branching control structures, and iteration control structures. Okay, na? Conditional, branching, iterations. Okay, let me see one by one. So first, these are only formulas. Syntaxes I will explain. And later, these formulas or syntaxes how to use in my programs that I will show in program, okay, in our programming level. Okay, now first observe, okay, what is what, and some conditions you can easily understand because some conditions are having in your Java, .NET, okay, C, C++ languages also we have it this. So that's why some syntaxes will be same look like that. Okay, right. So come to conditional control structures. In this first one is called a simple if. Simple if, what it was saying guys here, it contains only true block. Simple if is contain only true block. That means there is no false block. So syntax formula will be like this. If condition, then executing statement, true block statements, then end if. That means suppose whatever the condition was given, if this condition is true, then true block statements are executed and end here. But suppose if condition is false, for example, if condition is false, then it doesn't display any statement because this statement is not having any false block. This statement is having only true block. So whenever your condition true, then only your statements will be executed. If it is false, these statements are not executed. So it is called a simple if it is called. Come to next one is called as if else. If else, we all of you know, guys. Okay. If else, it contains both true block and false block. Okay. So I think you all of you know syntax here. Suppose if condition true, then executed true block statements. If condition was false, then executed else block statement. That is called a false block. So the if else conditions are having two blocks, true and false. True, true condition, false, false conditions. Okay, right. Next come to nested if. Nested if is nothing but if within the if is called as a nested if. Okay, for example, syntax formula. This is outer if condition. Outer if condition is true, then executed internal if condition. Outer if condition is true, then executed internal if condition. Then internal if condition is true, executed true block statement. If internal if condition is false, then executed else block statement and end if. Suppose outer if condition is false, then jump to else part. In else part, internal if condition is executed. If internal if condition true, then executed true statements. If internal if condition is false, then executed false statements. Okay, this is nested if. Okay, right. Come to next one is called if else ladder. So if else ladder, okay, how it was working means multiple conditions are checking. Like if condition, then execute statement. Suppose if condition is true, first condition is true, executed here. Suppose this condition, if condition is false, then enter into else if, second condition checking. If this condition true, executed your statement. If this condition is also false, then it will go to next condition. So like this, one by one condition is checking. One by one condition is checking. Okay, now right. So this is if else ladder. Come to branching control structures. Branching control structures, okay, is having only one case statement. And case says statement syntax is observed. Case, you can declare either variable or expression along with case statement. So multiple conditions here. When condition is one, okay, suppose this condition is true. When condition is true, first condition is true, then executed statements. If first condition is false, then come to checking second condition. If this condition is true, then execute statements. If this is also false, then come to next condition. So this condition is true, execute the statements. If this condition is also false, next it will go to else part, end of the statement. Okay, so one by one conditions wise checking only. Now come to iteration control statements. Iteration control statements, first one is called a simple loop. Simple loop, it is called an infinity loop. So why, sir, infinity loop means whatever the logic I was written under simple loop, that logic will be executing infinity times. So that means there is no breaking, there is no stoppage. Okay, it will be continuous flow, infinity times executed. So the problem is there here. That's why if we want to break a simple loop statement, then we should use an exit statement compulsory. So that how to use exit statement, I will show you in the examples. Don't worry, one by one I will explain along with programs also. Okay, don't worry that. So now come to syntax. So loop, execute statement, and loop. It's a very simple syntax. So loop, and we are writing execute statement means we are writing some logic, and end loop. Okay, this is simple loop. Okay, syntax. Come to next one is called a while loop. So while loop is what, sir? Means while loop, all of you know. In C, C++, Java, .NET also this loop is available. So while loop, how it is executed means whatever the condition I'm writing here along with while, until unless this condition is true, this condition is true, then your loop execution will be continuously executed. Suppose this condition, okay, 10 times true, then your loop statements are 10 times will be executed. So suppose condition true, enter into loop, executing a statement. After executing, it was giving increment or decrement. After increment or decrement, again condition checking, again condition true, again execute statements and giving increment or decrement, again come to condition. So like this, it will be cyclic process, continuously circle. Okay. So iterations we call. Okay, loops here. So until the condition false. Suppose when your while condition is false, then it was end of your loop. Okay, this is while loop statement. Come to for loop. For loop is going to call by default, it is incrementing by 1. So that means user no need to give a 1, 2, 3 like this increments. I don't want to give it here. Automatically incremented by 1. Okay. Then here for one index variable you have to declare. So in is a predefined statement. So starting value dot dot ending value. Suppose guys here I want to print 1 to 10 natural numbers. Then 1 dot dot. Okay, this is starting value 1, and I'm giving here dot dot ending value. How much guys here? 10. So 1 to 10 numbers I need to print. 1 to 10 numbers if I need to print means my start value 1 I was given, end value 10 I was given. So first 1 is printed because this is a starting value. 1 is printed. Okay, 1 is printed here. 1 is printed. So now increment. Increment by default, how much I said? By default increment by 1. So here 1 is printed. So 1 plus 1, increment is 1 now. 1 plus 1, 2 is printed. Okay. 2 plus 1, 3 is printed. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. 5 plus 1, 6. 6 plus 1, 7. 7 plus 1, 8. 8 plus 1, 9. 9 plus 1, 10. 10 plus 1, what? 11. But here, the ending value, what? 10 only. So that means this 11 is condition false. So 11 condition is false because my end value 10 only. So 1 to 10 numbers are printed. Okay, now? So this is what we called as a for loop. And one more very important thing is, in iteration statements, only these 3 loops only supported. Simple loop, while loop, and for loop. But do while loops, for each loops, I think you have in the java.net. Yes or no? Do while loop also there. For each loop also there. But those do while for each loops are not supported under PLSQL. So PLSQL, only 3 types of looping statements are supported. First one simple loop, second one while loop, and third one is for loop. Okay, and conditional statements are 4. Okay, simple if else, nested if else ladder, and branching statement only one, that is called a case. Okay, now so these are the complete conditional and control statements in our PLSQL which was supported. So other than these statements, no other statement will supported here. Okay, now these are also just the syntaxes guys here, but the syntaxes how it was working, sir. So I'm using in the programs, and in the programs again I will explain to you one by one how it was working. Okay, now so that's why the first of all just formulas I'm showing to you. Okay, and later the examples also I'm going to showing to you. Okay, now right. So now this is what now introduction part of PLSQL is over from up to here. Okay, this comes under introduction part only. And the tomorrow we will start on main concepts. So that means we are entering into main topics here. Okay, so tomorrow one main topic we started. So in the topics, so how these conditional, okay, so wherever I require conditional statement, if I use a conditional, looping statements, looping, branching statement, branching. So as per the topic wise program examples, I'm using these syntaxes guys here. So in that way, the both are covering. Your topic wise programs are covering, and your syntaxes explanations also covering. The both are covering in one area. Okay, like this every topic wise we are writing some programs. In any one program, any one condition we are using. Some one program we are using simple if I'm using. One program I'm using if else condition I'm using. One program I'm using for loop. One program I'm using while loop. So like this, I'm using one by one these all statements in our coming examples. Okay, na? So at the time you automatically understanding. Okay, for loop working like this. While loop working like this, if else condition working like this, case statement working like this. Yes or no? It will be happening then. Okay, right this, and that we will see in tomorrow. So tomorrow we are entering into main topics, and these 2 documents, introduction of PLSQL as well as this control statement, these 2 documents I'm sharing to you. So once check out these all syntaxes. Okay, now right this. Thank you so much.